Good morning or good afternoon, Tigers. Today we're watching a video on Quizette 722. As always, please make sure that you write your last name, comma, first name. Today's date is January 29, 2018. Please make sure that you also circle the class color. Today I say that I am blue. So in looking at number 1, it says Lily buys a coffee and muffin for $10 plus 7% tax. So I'm going to start by annotating what I have. So I have $10. I have $10 and 7% tax. Andrea buys a tea and a brownie for $6.50 plus 7% tax. How much is their total together, including their tax? So a strategy I can use is I notice that the tax is the same for both of them. So the tax is 7% for both of them. So that's a huge clue. Then I notice that their amounts, I can just add them together. What's 10 plus 650? It's $16.50. And their tax is 7%. How do I convert 7% into a decimal? I put my decimal place and I shift it 2 spots to the left, and now it's 0.07. Now I multiply that, and that just gives me the tax. But that doesn't give me my total. The total is going to be the amount plus the tax. That's going to be my total, and that's the answer to the question. So let's multiply. 0 times 7 is 0. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry the 3. 6 times 7 is 42. 42 plus 3 is 45. 1 times 7 is 7. Plus 4 is 11. Bring down another 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. Add those together, and you get 0, 5, 5, 1, 1. Now I went 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I have here is $1.15, and then there's this extra 50 there. Now remember I told you that with tax, you're going to round up if the number next to it is closer to the next number. So 5 is that breaker. So if it were 4 right there, we would just round down and it would be $1.15. But companies are always going to try to get more money from you, even if it's just a penny. So we're going to round up because there's a 5. So the tax is actually, it's not $1.15. It's $1.16. That's going to be your tax. Now let's look here. Our total amount is 10 plus 650, which I annotated at the top. So 10 plus 650 is $16.50. Now we're going to add our tax of $1.16. We're going to add it together, and that gets me $17.66 is their total. So go ahead and write, if you can fit it. No, go ahead and fit it, even if it's on the side over here. Sorry, if it's on the side over here. You can write Lily and Andrea's total is $17.66. The SMP that we're using here, you can say that you're looking for patterns, you're attending to precision, you are using your reasoning. So you guys can choose the SMP that you want. Number 2, it says, Jose has $20 in a savings account that earns 10% annually. How much interest will he earn in 8 months? So let's start by annotating. So we have Jose has $20 in a savings account that earns 10% interest or 10% annually. How much interest will he earn in 8 months? And then it gives us a hint. It says use the formula I equals PERT or I equals PRT, where I is the interest, P is the principal, which is the amount, R is the interest rate, expressed as a decimal, and T is time in years. So if you don't have a highlighter, you could just underline. All right. So I know that my initial amount is going to be P, and my initial amount is this $20 right there. So I'm going to write P next to it. Then it says that the rate is the interest rate expressed as a decimal. So the rate would be this 10%, and the rate would be 0.10. I'm going to try that one more time because it's a little sloppy. Okay. 0.10. And now it also says that the time is in terms of years. But see, our time is in terms of months. So how do I write 8 months in terms of year, in terms of 1 year? So 8 months, how many months are in 1 year? 12. So I can just write the time as 8 over 12. So that's the time. Now I can write I equals P times R times T. So what's my principal? $20. What's my rate? 0.10. What's my time? 8 over 12. Now you can input that into a calculator, and that's your total interest that you earned. And that's what the question is asking. How much interest will he earn in 8 months? Go ahead and put that into a calculator. You can pause the video, get a calculator, and calculate it. Okay, so now that you've gotten your total, the SMP that I would say you're using here is your reasoning abstractly, but you're also attending to precision. So the same almost SMPs as number 1. Let's look at number 3. Estimate the amount of the tip by rounding the bill to the nearest dollar before calculating. What is 20% tip on a bill of $98.12? What is the total with the tip is what it's asking. So it's asking 2 questions. The first question is, what is 20% tip of a bill that's $98.12? And then it's asking you for the total with the tip. So 2 questions. You can even categorize this as part A, and this is as part B. And then it says, estimate the amount to the nearest dollar. So look at our total right here. We have $98.12. If I had to round that, that's closer to $98 than it is to $99. So I'm rounding it to $98. Now it says to calculate 20% tip. So I'm going to multiply 98 by 0.20 because that's 20% written as a decimal. And now 8 times 0 is 0. 9 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 1 is 19. Add that together and you get 1960. How many decimal places did I go? 2. So the tip would be 1960. That's part A. So the tip is 1960. Now the total would be, and then we'll fill in our blank. The total is 98.12. Well, actually we rounded, so we're going to just add 98. $98.12 plus this 1960. So add that together. And you get 117.72 is approximately the total. So the total would be 117.72. And this is part B. This is part B. All right. Another thing to keep in mind is on number 2, it gave us the time in months. So here it gave it to me in months. But if it gave it to me in years, so if it had 8 years, I wouldn't have to change anything. And the time would be 8 because it would be in terms of years. Now let's look at number 2 for Tuesday. Do you see how it says 9 years? So I don't have to change anything for that one. And let's look at another day. Tuesday, they have the same tax. So you could use the same strategy that I used on Monday, number 1. And let's look at the next one. So the next one, it also has the same tax. And on Thursday, it also has the same tax. So that's good. Now, number 2 on Thursday is a little different. So if you look at number 2 on Thursday, it says, how much interest will she earn in 9 months? So this one you have to convert 9 over 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And this is in the 9th month. So 9 over 12 for the time. Remember that. And let's look at number 3. Remember to round those amounts before you calculate the tip. And remember it's asking for 2 things, part A and part B, the tip and then the total. All right, Tigers, good luck on this quizette. If you have any questions, look at your math notes or you can raise your hand and ask for help.